Even if you don't have boots, you are on your own.
So why is hard work under attack from the left? Joining me now, Independent Women's Forum Senior Policy Analyst Patrice Leon-Wilke. Patrice, thanks for joining me.
Thanks to see you, Charles. Good to see you.
When I saw AOC and I saw this last week, I immediately thought about President Obama, because when he made those comments, he had ironically made them moments after talking about how this kid who was who came into the world from a brief union from a Kenyan father, a Kansas City mother, against all obstacles, pulled himself up by the bootstraps, essentially. And that's what I find ironic about this. Two successful people saying to the rest of America, it can't be done.
Well, it's a populist message that's meant to inspire cynicism. It's meant to make Americans think, well, you know what, I guess the deck really is so stacked against me that I could never do better than my parents or from where I came from. And boy, Charles, is that the wrong place to talk about economic mobility than America? This is the one place on earth where you are born does not determine where you end up in life. But in fact, a lot of your hard work, your effort, and when necessary, if you need public assistance, that's there. But it's the idea that grit can actually help you to achieve something that's better than maybe the generation before you. And I think that's what AOC and even President Obama didn't want to acknowledge, because then you're saying it's about the free market, it's about personal agency over government programs and government dependency.
I also feel bad because I think if you're one of these kids who's not sure, you live in a very poor environment, a dangerous environment, people who in your family haven't been successful for whatever reason, and you hear this, maybe that's the one thing that stops you from trying. You know what I mean? It's beyond just being wrong. I think it's so discouraging that they're actually hurting people who may look up to them.
Well, it's uninspiring. I mean, there's something about saying, you know what, I can believe that I can achieve something based on what I've been given, based on what I'm able to learn, and turn my life circumstances around. It's funny. I was just thinking about Judge Mathis. His program speaks to young people who, like him, have been in the criminal justice system, had, a lot of significant odds against him, but he doesn't allow that to hold him back from becoming a seated judge and now a television judge. But the point he makes is that, yes, there are issues. There are systemic issues, you might say. But that doesn't mean that as an individual, you can't make something of yourself if you're willing to. And I think when we talk about, the American dream is dead, when we say that economic mobility doesn't exist, we are ignoring and we're taking away that spark in our young people to believe that they can achieve something greater.
It's so hard we're really a young country compared to most countries in the world. Some of them are a couple of thousand years old. That this young upstart country, which had, obviously had its issues, continues to thrive and continues to dominate the planet. There's got to be something there. And all the people that want to come to America all the time, the same party that says we should have open borders because the rest of the world comes here, tell people born in this country there's nothing for them. It's just a confusing message.
Well, Charles, you're speaking to a first-generation immigrant. I came here when I was 3 years old because my parents looked 30 years down the line and said, you know what, we want more for you and your brothers. And hard work, owning property, investing in education, those are the things that they taught us. And a lot of immigrants come to this country with that belief. And so to hear this message that, there's no such, you don't even have boots. Well, wait a minute. I think there's a lot of opportunity in this country for those who are willing to pursue it.
Absolutely.
And where government is a barrier, where government, from everything from occupational licenses that keep people out of jobs and occupations, where government is a barrier, let's get government out of the way. But let's not take away that belief that grit and human determination can actually make your life better.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't exist in a lot of other places in this world.
Plus, it's metaphorical. Patrice, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.
Hey,